Hello, leader. Has this ever happened to you? A team member closes your office door or pings you after hours, and suddenly you're hearing details about their personal life that you were not expecting. It can be emotional, sensitive, and you instantly can feel the weight of knowing way more than you ever bargained for. On one hand, it's a compliment. They see you as being trustworthy. On the other hand, it can feel overwhelming because now you're not just their leader, you're carrying their burden too. In today's episode, we're talking about what to do when your team confides in you. You'll learn how to listen without overstepping, how to protect both confidentiality and their performance, and how to create boundaries that keep you in your role as leader, not a therapist, not their lawyer, their doctor, or their best friend. Welcome to the Stacking Your Team podcast, smart leadership for women who mean business. I'm Shelli Warren, your team and leadership coach, and your no-fluff guide to building a powerhouse team that actually gets the job done without you holding their hand every 5 minutes. You're not just a business owner, you're the leader now, and I'll help you step up, lead smart, and stop micromanaging. Stick with me and you'll learn how to hire, fire, and inspire a team you lead with confidence and finally get your night and weekends back. And here's the hard truth. The team that got you here may not be the team that gets you there. So let's trade burnout for bold leadership and stack your team. This episode is powered by the Leadership Lab, my high-touch small group coaching program for women running established businesses with a team of 5 or more. If you're tired of being pulled into every little thing and you want more time for strategy, creativity, maybe even opening up another location, you don't have to go it alone. It's time to stop feeling so exhausted by trying to hold it all together. The Leadership Lab helps you step out of the daily operations, build a capable team, and lead boldly without burning out. If you're ready for more capacity, more confidence, and more time for what matters most, apply today at stackingyourteam.com/leadershiplab. Okay, let's get into it. If there's one thing I've learned all these years of leading people, it's that when people trust you, well, they tell you stuff you don't want to know. I've had team members tell me their brother is in jail for assaulting his wife. Another told me that they're about to go bankrupt due to gambling. And another couldn't stop crying when I was the first person he called to tell me his wife just left him. The number and the types of personal challenges people deal with every day is astounding. Everyone has someone in their life who is touched by cancer or heart health issues. Everyone has someone in their life who's dealing with financial difficulties. And everyone has someone in their life, maybe even themselves, who's struggling with mental health. On top of personal challenges, we can't ignore the reality that world events, whether it's global conflicts, natural disasters, political tension, or economic uncertainty, can all have a real impact on our mental health and the energy that we bring to work. Research shows that nearly 70% of North Americans report that watching or reading the news causes them to feel concerned, and more than half say it affects their ability to sleep or stay focused at work, especially in light of how tethered we all are to our phones. So when a team member confides in you, it may not just be about what's happening at home. It could be about what's happening in the world that's weighing heavily on them. Leaders need to be prepared for these conversations too, because you'll often be the first person they turn to. So why do some team members feel the need to overshare and tell you all the details about their personal life? Let's start with this interesting stat. According to the American Psychological Association, 77% of U.S. team members report work-related stress, and 1 in 3 say personal challenges affect their performance at work. In Canada, about 30% of disability claims are related to mental health. So it's no surprise people lean on their leaders when they're not feeling at their best. A client recently told me, I feel like I've become the unofficial therapist at work. My team comes to me for everything. That is a sign of trust, but it's also a red flag if you don't have a plan. And here's the watch out. If your team never shares anything personal, that might indicate that they feel deeply disconnected from you. If they share too much, it could mean that you've unintentionally or intentionally blurred boundaries. So what is your role as a leader in these situations? Well, let's start here. You are not their counselor. Even if you own a thriving therapy practice, you are not your team member's therapist. This goes for anyone who provides professional services to clients. You will not provide those same services to your team members. You're also not going to cut a check to cover their mortgage because they're going through a divorce. You're also not going to open up your spare room to a team member because they're having a hard time finding an apartment. Your role is the same as it was before they discovered their current challenge. Whether it's a health challenge, a financial challenge, a spiritual one, or a relationship challenge. You are their leader. Your role is to listen and acknowledge the challenge, maintain their confidentiality, and ask, what would look like help to you right now? A client had a team member going through a divorce. When she asked her, what would look like help to you right now? She responded by asking if she could turn her camera off during their morning team meetings for a few days. That small accommodation gave the team member relief about lowering her performance standards just for a bit until she could get through those first few rough days. A few other ways that you can help your team members are to ask questions such as these. Do you want me to remove you from the project? Do you want me to send someone else on that upcoming trip in your place? Do you need any temporary adjustments to your schedule? And here's where it can get tricky. Setting precedents can easily shift into entitlement. So here are some potential risks that can be the fallout of when a team member confides in you. A team member assumes their workload will be reduced permanently. You or your team leader start excusing underperformance because of, sympathy. Gossip spreads if these situations are handled poorly, including people seeing how you support or don't support a team member. That can all be seen as favoritism. Another client had a team member who shared about their financial struggles. The team member expected an advance on salary and later duties. The leader realized, if I give in, I'll set a precedent that I can't keep for everyone else. So she didn't. She offered a few hours of paid time off during working hours for the team member to seek out money management and debt counseling services. Here's something I always did back in my corporate days, and I encourage my clients to do this as well. Create a resource folder and fill it full of pamphlets, local employee assistance program numbers, mental health hotline numbers, and community resources that you could provide to your team member so they can take action and get some immediate qualified help for their situation. Try and anticipate the various challenges they may have and look to include something that would fit. So think about business cards for lawyers, credit counseling agencies, tutoring services, therapists who specialize in various forms of therapy, and addiction services. You could also compile a list of websites, but people really do appreciate a business card or pamphlet. There's something tangible about them getting to hold something in their hand that helps them feel ready to get help because they know where to go for the next step. One thing that also became more and more apparent to me over the years is that for some people, their workplace can be their safe haven. It can be their place to literally feel safe. It can also be their place where they can put aside the negativity and the worry and focus on something else that they feel they have control over, where they're more comfortable because they know what the expected outcomes are. So you'll want to reinforce this with them, remind them that they are safe here and that this can be a respite for them, a break to think about something totally different and leave the other distractions behind for a while. Let's not forget this when your team confides in you. You want to reinforce your boundaries and double down on your leadership presence. So how are you going to do this? Well, you want to balance compassion with accountability, empathy without enabling, and you can also respond with something like this. I appreciate you sharing this with me. Here's what we can adjust for a short period, but I also need you to stay focused on your role so the team isn't impacted. Remind them, I'm not your leader. I'm not here to play therapist, but I do want to support you. I can point you towards some resources, and we can also talk about what will help you feel good about coming to work and staying on track. Let's recap. When your team confides in you, it's a sign of trust. Don't take that lightly. Listen, acknowledge, but don't own their problem. Use the "what would look like help to you right now" question, and protect your and your team boundaries by showing compassion, but accountability must also coexist. You want to be resourceful, not a rescuer. Thanks for tuning in to the Stacking Your Team podcast, smart leadership for women who mean business. If today's episode helped you see your leadership in a new way, I'd love to hear about it. Come connect with me on Instagram, where I'm at Stacking Your Team, and tell me what's troubling you about your team right now. And one last reminder, you can apply to join the Leadership Lab from the Stacking Your Team website. We're welcoming new members right now. It's time to stop getting pulled into daily operations and start leading at a higher level. Imagine breathing easier, trusting your team to deliver, and having way more time for your highest valued work. I can't wait to meet you. And hey, if you're tuning into this podcast because you work somewhere and you want to develop your leadership skills, I invite you to start following our sister company, Thousand Islands Leadership Consulting. Check us out on Instagram or LinkedIn so you can chart your course to the next level of leadership.